Hi, I'm mad. Why is it so hard to be a fan of like anything nowadays? Now that was a joke. Okay, everything I'm going to be talking about today is indeed first world problems, but honestly it's getting worse and worse every day.
Wow, the pressure is getting worse.
I'm just saying, I do think things are getting a little bit different than they used to be in the early 2000s or the 2010s or heck, even 2020 as it relates to fandom culture and hobbies in general. But I'm not here to talk about the people. I already did that at the beginning of the year. Unfortunately, I'm here to talk about the stuff and the true enemy of us all, capitalism. Hey, it's Allie. Welcome back to my channel. As a person who grew up in fandom space, I was so excited to finally be an adult and have adult money to spend on my hobbies. Well, I'm an adult. Where's that adult money? Yeah, where is it? Did we not get to check? Or we're like almost like 10 years late now. Like, where's that adult money you speak of? And not to mention that by the time I get any of said adult money, everything is either gone, sold out, scalped to all hell, or just not available in my country. Man, I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
And while even a couple of years ago, even during 2020, this didn't affect me as much, but now with the mainstreamification, made up that word, of fandom spaces, things are getting a little weird. And me and my empty wallet would like to talk to you about it today. If at any time you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe because I make videos like this all the time. And comment down below if you collect anything, whether that be physical, digital, whatever. Do you collect games? Do you collect books, manga, keychains? I collect all of it. Unfortunately, I wish I could just be into one thing. Like, I really do. But let me know if you collect anything, how easy / hard it is to get said thing, whether it be physical, digital, whatever. And hey, let's just jump into it. Now, of course, we got to start off with the shiny new Mario-sized elephant in the room. The Nintendo Switch 2 just got announced. And oh my god, was that one of the best Nintendo Directs ever. We got a new Mario Kart. It has rail grinding, wall riding. You can play as the Moo Moo Meadows cow. I will be playing as the Moo Moo Meadows cow. We got upgrades to previous games that definitely deserved a graphical upgrade. Looking at you, Pokemon. I love Pokemon, but I'm just saying, it needed the graphical upgrade. A new Donkey Kong game, a bunch of third-party devs that you would have never expected to be on a Nintendo console of all things, and Silksong got a fucking announcement in a drive-by shooting of an announcement. Okay, I have a conspiracy theory that really it was supposed to be announced somewhere else like beforehand, and that this was supposed to be just like a victory lap to being like, hey, we're also going to be on the Switch too. But it did not happen. So, and of course, Deltarunes Chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4 coming out when the Switch launches in June. Well, if it launches in June. Also, don't worry, you will be seeing playthrough videos of Deltarunes Chapter 1 and 2 in May on this channel. Don't even worry, babes. Don't even worry. And of course, the rest of the games that got announced, and of course, the other games that got announced at the other Direct not even a couple of weeks ago. This was a slam dunk for Nintendo. The Switch upgrades look amazing and are finally bringing Nintendo out of the quirky side of the console game to maybe something that can actually rival a PS5 or an Xbox Series S. What? It's gonna be $450. Well, okay, I mean, I did say it would rival a PS5 or an Xbox Series, whatever, so I guess $450 is okay, I guess, if it's really gonna be a new gen console for once. I mean, I'll just have to save up however I'm gonna do that in this economy. What? Mario Kart is $80. Yeah, if you somehow haven't heard, Mario Kart is a whopping $80 USD. I am so sorry to all my Canadians out there. Yeah, that's a triple asterisk, by the way. One that includes additional accessories that may be required for multiplayer mode sold separately. What does that mean? Like, yes, I know you have to pay for Nintendo Online, which is in the second asterisk. Additional game system or accessories may be required for multiplayer mode, internet, Nintendo Switch Online membership, yada, 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 yada. So what is that first asterisk about, hey, you're gonna need something else? Is the something else Nintendo Online, or is it something else? And of course, manufacturers suggested retail price. Actual price may vary. Yeah, as I was writing this script, the tariffs dropped, and as of editing this, the tariffs have been quote unquote paused for 90 days. We live in a fucking kangaroo court. Money is not real. Send help. And Nintendo decided, hey, we're gonna push back our pre-orders to an indeterminate date. So you're telling me, you're telling me that the price you came out with was pre-tariff? I was trying to give Nintendo the benefit of the doubt here. I know, me giving $1 billion company the benefit of the doubt, but I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt of like, maybe they baked the tariffs in. Maybe they were trying to get ahead of that cost, because companies do that all the time. All those tariffs and things that usually existed all get baked into the seller's price, the price that you have to pay when you go into the store. So I was thinking, hey, maybe they'll pull like a 3DS XL or whatever happened to that one console that was like, oh, nobody bought it, so then they reduced the price like greatly and gave everybody else who actually bought it on launch like an extra thing or like whatever. Maybe I was like, maybe it'll be something like that. You know, tariffs are bad, but I can save up $500, right? For some reason, despite the fact that Mario Kart itself is $80, the bundle with the Switch and Mario Kart together is $500. So I'm assuming they just want you to buy the bundle, which would be nice, but it's like, I wanted to buy like a PS5 bundle with Final Fantasy 15 and I can no longer do that. So we'll see how long that lasts. But anyway, here is the reason why I decided to make this video. Hi, my name is Allie. I live in America, or as I like to call it, the seventh circle of hell. And if you didn't know, there are currently a bunch of people in our government trying to speed run the Great Depression simulator, and of course wants to make it everybody else's problem. And now all of my favorite hobbies, most of which stem from overseas, are way too expensive now. And I think it's very important to mention, and I will mention it several times throughout here, I think it's pretty obvious that I am into things that are genuinely aimed towards children. And if I, a grown adult, granted I am a grad student, I don't have a full-time job yet, but if I as a grown adult cannot afford to be a part of these hobbies, do you think the children can? We'll get more into that later. And here's the sick and twisted thing about all of this. As long as the Switch stays at $500, I will probably buy one day one. Because at this point, all of this is now basically my part-time job. Thank you so much for watching part-time. Part-time. But it is kind of a part of my job now, so like I have an incentive to want to keep up with this type of stuff. But again, kids who this is not their job, but this is their favorite thing to do is game or read or like whatever, can't do that now. You know, kids, the like main demographic of Nintendo's player base, especially for a game like Mario Kart. Speaking of things that piss me off, children being shit out of luck, and Nintendo, let's talk about the Pokemon TCG. Now, if you don't follow me on Insta or TikTok, then you have been fortunate enough not to see my downward spiral into the Pokemon TCG. Send help. Now, for some god-awful reason, I decided it would be a good idea to start collecting Pokemon cards late summer of last year. And I honestly don't even know how we got here. I don't have nostalgia for the Pokemon TCG specifically. I said this in my video about Pokemon that kind of flawed, but it's okay. It's okay. I have nostalgia for the movies. I have nostalgia for the TV show and some of the later games, like ever since I think Black and White onward. I don't have nostalgia though for the TCG, like at all. So I'm not even chasing after like older cards or anything like that. I really just like the fact that they have new illustration cards now, like in the last, like, I think 2 generations since like Sword and Shield. So I started collecting Pokemon because of that. And geez, my mistake, because everything was fine. I was able to get product. I was able to literally just go to Best Buy, pick up a box of like whatever. And then Searching Sparks came out, which was the last main set of Pokemon TCG. And then Prismatic Evolutions came out because this year is supposed to be the year of the Eevee, and they're pushing Eevees really, really hard, and Prismatic Evolutions is an Eevee set. Now, because of supply and demand, and because a lot of people saw a lot of cool cards that went a lot of crazy, now all of a sudden, Pokemon has hit a fucking crash. Essentially, people started panic buying stuff when they found out that like, oh, there are really cool cards in these sets. So they started to panic buy. And then collectors saw that and then also started to panic buy. And then scalpers saw that and then also started to panic buy. So that now there is literally nothing on the shelves. When I was a kid, I was not into Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever. I am now. I was more of a Yu-Gi-Oh kid, again, the anime and the games and stuff like that, but not the TCG. But whenever I walked into Walmart, Target, heck, a fucking dollar store, I was able to find Pokemon cards just sitting there. I got Pokemon cards in McDonald's packs and I didn't have to fight off a grown-ass man to get them. I got Yu-Gi-Oh cards in Shonen Jump magazines. You know, it was easy to find. Nowadays, it's not. And I forgot her name, but I'll put a video of her here. I started following her. She made a really good point when she said,
and I see comments sometimes about like, oh, I can't wait till modern becomes vintage. It's not going to, guys. It's not going to be the same. It's really not going to be the same, especially when kids today are not getting to open most of these sets. Like, My son has opened maybe 5 prismatic packs. That's all we could find in the stores. Yeah, but the fact is that is most kids' experience today. Think about it, guys. If we never got to open the vintage sets when we were kids, would we be interested in them right now? I probably wouldn't be. I'm not going to lie to you. The reason I'm interested in that stuff is because it is nostalgic for me. I want to revisit those feelings from like when I was a kid. Like, you know what I mean? Brings back good memories and stuff. As where like things like Prismatic and Surging Sparks and all these new sets, they're not going to bring back any good memories for the kids today.
And that, of course, is all thanks to scalpers. Now, if you don't know what a scalper is, we're going to be talking about them a lot today. Essentially, they are people who go in using bots or other types of nefarious means and just buy up all of the product, whether that be books, blind boxes, Pokemon cards, other TCGs, it does not matter. They will buy it all up and then resell it to you, the consumer, at a premium markup price because you can't go into the store and find it at regular retail price anymore. And thanks to Logan Paul in 2020, Mr. Finance Bro himself, other finance bros decided that they also wanted to join in on the Pokemon craze. And ever since then, scalpers have just been popping up and popping up and popping up. People who should go back to fucking cryptocurrency rug pulls should stay over there. Instead, they're coming to the Pokemon hobby. Why? Because they have nostalgia for it. Yes, I'm gonna gatekeep you. Do you really have nostalgia for Pokemon? I mean, everybody has fucking nostalgia for Pokemon, okay? Like I said, I don't have nostalgia for the Pokemon TCG, but I watched that anime. Sometimes I would go into the store, I'd see Pokemon cards. Some people would have it. I'd pick up a random Pokemon card. I'd be like, oh, this is Pokemon. In that way, I have nostalgia. In that way, you probably also have nostalgia for Pokemon. But the way you treat this hobby disgusts me. Again, keep in mind that the main demographic of people trying to get Pokemon cards are children. Are there a lot of adults in this hobby? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But mostly it is still children. If you watch any Pokemon YouTuber out there who goes to these big event like card shows, like Deep Pocket Monster is a really good example of it. I love his channel. He does like challenges, and in these challenges, it's always children that come up to him and say hi and want to help him and all this other type of stuff. When he does like a pan around what other like building he's in, it's always children. Yes, there are a good amount of adults there, but it's mostly children. So imagine a scalper reselling a pack of Pokemon cards that's supposed to sell for like $5 at like a $20 markup and selling that to a fucking child. You're all gonna rot in fucking hell. Not to mention, a lot of these, again, are finance bros who thought it would be a good, easy flip to like start a Pokemon card businesses. Here, there are card LGSs, local game stores, okay? They're the stores that sell Lorcana, Magic the Gathering, the new the new One Piece TCG, and the Yu-Gi-Oh TCG, all of that. Pokemon, all of that. They sell games sometimes, they hold tournaments, all of that type of stuff. That is a local staple. And as long as it's not a toxic local staple, it is a good place to buy Pokemon cards. And of course, you might have to buy them a little bit over MSRP because they need to make a profit, right? Sure. Right? That's fine. That's fine. I usually find that as long as it's not a crazy markup price and I'm buying it from an LGS that I know is supporting the local community, aka giving third spaces to kids who no longer have third spaces, I'm fine. I literally walked into like an LGS that's in my area, hence the local part. And as I was like going to buy something that was a little bit too much over market price, honestly, for me, when it comes to like something I bought, I think it was like $151. I watched a bunch of kids come in and they were there for a tournament. It was a free tournament. This was like a random Saturday. It was a free tournament. It was like Tekken and Smash. Completely free. And they could come in, they could bring food, and they were just there to play the game. And I was like, you know what? If me buying this slightly overpriced thing means that those kids have a place to chill and stay out of trouble and play fucking video games and garner a fucking community, fine. I'm fine with that. However, obviously there's a limit to that. And most of these LGSs are just online stores with fucking Shopifys. Take the Shopify links away. Okay? Just like we need to take the podcast equipment out to some people's hands, we need to take the Shopify links away. Okay? We do. Because just because you thought you could flip and sell, that's also another thing too. Like economically, this makes no sense because you thought that you could just sell Pokemon cards, you just buy a bunch of Pokemon cards and flip them, and thought that was a legitimate business strategy. These LGSs sell so many other different things, right? They sell, like I said, they sell Lorcana, they sell Magic, they sell Yu-Gi-Oh, they sell One Piece, and also they do have paid tournament nights as well, not always, but like they do. And so that is like an actual legitimate business strategy. You just wanted to sell Pokemon and Pokemon only because you saw Logan Paul do it. Okay, I've been ranting about Pokemon for too long. And of course, social media has not helped that either. And that's how we get people fighting, fist fighting over Pokemon cards like it is Black Friday 2012. Also, they can rip and ship some stupid ass Pokemon cards on Whatnot. Again, the only reason why people are even buying that stuff on Whatnot is because people can't find it in store. You think anybody would buy somebody else opening their Pokemon cards on live if they weren't already famous? Like, I get having like famous people do it, right? But like having a random stranger online open your Pokemon cards for you, the only reason why you're doing that is because you couldn't go to the store and buy them, so you have to go to the only place you can find them, which is this Ripper Shipper? Rip and Shipper. Anyway, like all these finance bros want to do is just chase a trend, and Pokemon unfortunately happens to be that newest trend. Speaking of trends, let's talk about blind boxes. So blind boxes, for the uninitiated, are boxes or bags that have toys or plushes in them, but you don't know what you're going to get. On the outside of the box or bag, you will usually see a row of characters or whatever is inside of the box of what you can get. So it's usually like anywhere from like 5 to like 20. I'm so sorry to anybody who loves Love Live. Love Live blind boxes will be the death of me. That is insane. But the whole fun of it all is that you get to pull out the thing and see what you got. Now that I think about it, blind boxes are a lot like Pokemon cards, and the fact that you don't know what you're gonna get, and it's always a gamble each time. And I started collecting blind boxes first, so I can see where the connection is there for, oh, gotta have a problem. Now, if you didn't know, I collect blind boxes. I don't so much anymore because, you know, Pokemon cards. But I used to be very, very obsessed and kind of still am, specifically with Kubo. He is a brand by Pop Mart. And look at him, he's so cute. And I just love his, like, he has mostly like occupational things. So like there he's an assassin, there he's just unemployed. Him as like this little gas guy, an archer, etc., etc. It's very cute. I love these very much, and every time a new Kubo one comes out, I am racing to Pop Mart to go buy one. Another one of my favorites are the Skull Panda line. Is this gonna hello, please? Yep, there we go. The Skull Panda line. I also usually really enjoy the designs on those as well. They're like back here in this row. You can't really see it. Maybe I'll get B-roll of it. Maybe I won't. Who knows? Stuff is falling. I don't even know what fell. Oh, here's one of my favorites. She has a clock for a face, and like her thing turns and her eye opens. It's literally the cutest thing in the world. So yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with those. I think where this trend really got started on like TikTok and people really loving this was Sunny Angels. Now, I never really liked Sunny Angels. I don't really like dolls like that, and they just reminded me of dolls. And I can see the type of person who collects Sunny Angels. I love your style. Not for me though, but I love your style. But this trend got so big to the point where people were selling out Sunny Angels. Again, something that when I started collecting, Sunny Angels were like everywhere. And now they are like scalped to all hell and are so hard to find. And also even more so recently, we have the Labubu craze. So Labubus are kind of like this ugly, cute type of creature. Like it's supposed to look a little unsettling, but it's like also supposed to be like fuzzy and cute. A creature which again, I had never had a problem. I saw these all the time. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have one. Not one of the fuzzy ones. It's somewhere back there, but not one of the fuzzy ones, but one of the like acrylic toy like Labubus is like way back there. I'll bring it out later. But I never had a hard time finding a Labubu, like ever, whether it be the fuzzy ones or the acrylic toys. Never had an issue with it until very, very recently. So Blackpink, a K-pop group who's in hot water for a lot of different things right now, but like somebody from Blackpink, I forgot who, I'll fact check that later. Somebody from Blackpink wore a Labubu on one of their bags, like their purses, as a bag charm. Wrong. Okay, so I don't think any of them ever wore it on their bags. However, the craze did start because of them and also people using them as bag charms. Again, I'll get into this, but this is something people have been doing for a very long time. Like Lisa loving Labubu was not like anything new, like at all. So, but yeah, just know that I don't think she probably has it on her bag as well. But like this specific screenshot I'm showing you that like started it all, she does not have it on her bag. Okay, posted it on Instagram. Have been doing this since forever. This is a thing people do. They put bag charms on their bags. This is not a new thing. However, because I guess it was, you know, someone from Blackpink, very, very popular, it started to just go viral and viral and viral and viral and more viral till I would say, unfortunately, the normies got to it. Now, I hate saying that word, the normies, but like when I mean this, I truly, deeply mean it. Because you know something becomes super mainstream and normalized when Shein decides that, oh, people are putting bag charms on their bags now. Something people have been doing for like a very long time, but now it's a trend. So we're going to start selling bag charms that you can put on your bags. They don't mean anything because the whole point of bag charms is that the stuff means something to you, right? Like I have like a One Piece one themed one. I have a Sonic themed one on my bag. They're supposed to mean something to you, but no, you can just buy a bunch of random junk that you can put on your thing. And when you get tired of it, you can just throw it away and it'll end up in a landfill. Anyway, but now, of course, Labubus are extremely, extremely hard to find. People are scalping them. People are stealing them off of other people's bags, which is insanity, actual insanity. And of course, now it's become a huge, huge trend. And just like any trend, it becomes like fashionized. Of course, there's always been like knockoff, like toys like this, like Labubus and things like that. But now there's like entire black markets full of like knockoff Labubus because they've become somewhat of a like designer outfit. I don't even really like them. I'm glad for once that there is something that's super popular that I don't like because I'm not missing out on anything. Except there was like a One Piece Labubu collab that's coming out soon. I'm not even gonna try to get those. Like I'm not even gonna try. Like I said, I'm too deep into Pokemon TCG, One Piece TCG, and Yu-Gi-Oh TCG hell to like really collect anything else right now. But rest assured, I would be pissed the fuck off if some random ass girl who I know is just going to throw away that toy. Like I hate to be the person who's like, we should gatekeep things, but honest to God, if all you're doing this is for a trend and all you're going to do with the Labubu toy instead of like donate it or trade it or anything like that is just throw it away and so it ends up in a landfill. Like, yes, will this stuff, honest to God, will this stuff end up in a landfill? Yes, but it will end up in a landfill 20 fucking years, 20? Damn, I don't think I'm gonna live that long. 70, we'll give myself 70 years from now when I'm on my fucking deathbed. And even then, I would love to give this to like people who, like other kids who actually want it. I have a bunch of comics in my bedroom right now that I'm kind of like, I can probably give these away to like the library or donate them to a kid who actually wants to start reading comics, right? And in that way, we can end up with this recycling, which is how we get vintage stuff in the first place, right? Like nothing is going to be vintage anymore if you just keep buying and buying and buying and just throwing away. What is going to become vintage? What is going to become hand-me-downs, you know? I'm going to keep these for as long as I physically can, right? Absolutely. However, people who are just following this for a trend are literally just going to follow it until the trend is no longer trendy and just toss it away. And I know, again, I hate using the word normie. I hate using the word gatekeep. I usually hate all of this stuff. But if someone is coming into this hobby or any hobby in general and being really disingenuous, scalpers, finance bros, trend chasers, like it really hurts other people. We're seeing it right now. People who have probably loved Labubus for years, who have probably fought people like me being like, Labubus are cute, are now like, oh, now suddenly y'all all think Labubus are cute. Like going back to Pokemon, the newest Pokemon TCG set that has come out is a complete trainer set. Notoriously in the Pokemon TCG, especially in the collecting space, people hate trainers. They don't like collecting trainers. Now, all of a sudden, we have a trainer-based set and everybody is like, oh, suddenly these cards are the best thing in the world. Can you stop? Okay, I loved N when I was a fucking preteen and wanted to jump that man like a fucking tree. Okay, now all of you out here, oh, I love N. Do you? Out of all of this, what it really just means is that uniqueness and finding like-minded people is going down the drain. You're gonna find somebody walking down the street with a Labubu bag. You're gonna be like, oh my God, I love Labubus. I love pop merts and I love collecting these. And you know, the chances of that person actually liking those things has gotten a lot less. A lot less. What used to be a way to find other people like you is now for some reason a status symbol, and I hate it so much. Again, forgot her name, but a different girly who does these types of internet deep dive videos made a really good video about like Hello Kitty and that type of stuff, and I would highly suggest you check it out. Now, of course, this has reached outside of the realm of just nerdy anime stuff. This has also unfortunately reached its way into print media. Yeah, books. Things that are supposed to be widely accessible to all people. Books, in my opinion, should be widely accessible to all people. Apparently that's like a radical fucking statement, but whatever.
Now that is re-elected, we're bringing back $10 paperbacks. Ah!
are now also being scalped. And they're scalping books that aren't even good. I'm sorry to any Fourth Wing fans out there. Those books are not good. Those books are. I could go on a rant about that all day. I won't. I'm thinking of starting like a side channel for books and stuff. That's another story for another day. But like, I'm just saying, they're scalping books now. Sunrise of the Reaper just came out, and people could not find it. Also, the price of that book has like gone up. Like usually, books like that are like $20. That book was like $28. $28 because they know you bitches who are in the fandom we're gonna go buy it. And of course we have people scalping these books, buying swaths of them off the shelves and then selling them online for like $100. Now, I don't have much to say about that other than PDFs are free online. Do with that information as you will. And of course, to keep your books if you have them, because Lord knows with the amount of banning of books that they're doing, these actually might become a hot commodity. Not even to sell, but just to literally read. And oh God, Mr. President, they hit the second craft tower. Joann's, for like the second or third time, is going out of business. But this time, I think it's for real, guys. I think Joann's is actually seriously for real going out of business this time, which kills off a lot of people's hobbies, not just sewing, but like knitting, crocheting. Like if you bought art supplies from there, they had like art supplies like markers and paints and things like that. Other physical crafts that you would like make with your hands, paper crafts, things like that, gone. This is all gone. Like, yes, we still have Michaels here in the States, but Michaels has never been known to sell like fabric like that. Maybe they will start selling fabric now, but that's insane. I'm also going to point you to this video if you really want like a true deep dive on like why Joann's is like closing down. Hint, it's capitalism. Oh my God. That's a big through line of this video. You can't even collect through physical media anymore either. Why? Capitalism. Oh my God. Oh my God. No, literally. On a little bit more of a serious note, literally it's private equity, which like it's hard to explain what private equity is, but it's pretty much private people coming in, driving up this business as much as they can, taking shit out. The business then falls. Like a place like Joann's should not be failing. What was it? Also like Chipotle very randomly is going bankrupt. How the fuck is Chipotle going bankrupt? These are businesses that genuinely should not be failing, and they are. These are businesses that should be kept in business, especially with how low they pay their workers, how little workers they even hire in the first place, and how much profit that they bring in. And yet, and I can't like tell you how much like Joann's is a staple, especially in suburban areas. Like I'm very fortunate to live in New York. I don't know how to sew. I want to learn how to sew, but like, especially for like cosplay purposes, but like I'm very fortunate, at least right now, to live in a place like in New York that has like a garment district. However, where I'm from in the suburbs, we had a Joann's. We didn't have a garment district. So I like, what are people like that going to do when the only place they could ever get fabric was Joann's? Like you're killing off the hobbies that like we are like, okay, shit, we'll make it ourselves since we can't buy it. You know, buying stuff is hard nowadays. We'll just make it ourselves. Now they can't do that either. And I know people would just be like, oh, just shop online. Fabric, you got to feel fabric, man. You got to feel it. And then also at the same time, like measuring and things like that. And also it's just going to be more expensive. They're doing all this so that so like Hobby Lobby or like, oh God, Hobby Lobby or like Michaels or something can like mark up their prices because they're going to be the only places that sell things like that now. That's just how it is. And we used to say that monopolies were illegal. And yet, I didn't even bring up fucking Ticketmaster. God, we gotta end this. We gotta end this. I think it's pretty obvious there is a kind of direct correlation to the state of the U.S. economy and the state of the world, our government, and the things that are happening to our hobbies. Of course, like stuff like food comes first, always. Eggs are still $1 bajillion. But like, where, you know what? Where's that $10 paperback girl going? She was so happy that Trump was going to get elected because she was like, $10 paperbacks are coming back. How's that working out for you? Now, here's the thing that a lot of you aren't going to want to hear. Your hobby has always been a commodity. This happened when anime became super mainstream during 2020. And so please understand that you are not safe from capitalism just because your hobby is super, super niche. In fact, a lot of these people thrived on the fact that you were such a super fan that it was easy to mark shit up because you were a super fan. Concert tickets. And just a couple days ago, I unfortunately made a purchase on the Pokemon Center website that I didn't even want. It wasn't Dustin Rivals. I was able to get a Dustin Rivals ETB and I'm very happy about that. But it wasn't that. It was something else because I was primed to believe that I had to get this thing, otherwise I wouldn't be able to have it. It was another like Pokemon card thing, and it was just really stupid. I didn't need it, and also it did not go out of stock, and also it was really expensive, and it came in yesterday, and I just like the immense disappointment that I felt, because I felt like tricked, but also it's kind of my own fault. Like I'm a grown adult, but like I felt like I needed to get this thing. I was panic buying, and I wasted like $70. And now I've wasted that money because I feel like I need to like start collecting things. And I think we all need to take a collective because I promise you things will get better. The Journey Together set that I mentioned has already fallen in price. Please show the graphic. This is my favorite graphic in the world. All those people who were trying to sell something that was originally $30 for like $80, it's now back to being $30 fucking dollars, because luckily Pokemon has decided to finally do something about it and is printing more product and pushing more product out there. So more people have options on where they get their product, so they have to sell things at a lower price, which brings everything down. And all you have to do is not buy from scalpers. I know that's a crazy idea. Just don't buy from them. And eventually they will have to lower the price, which they do. And I've already told my friend, I'm a firm believer that if the Switch gets higher than $500, I will not buy it. I just simply won't. As much as like I, can afford it right now, I can't afford too much. Like I literally would have to save and scrimp and scrape to be able to afford a Switch 2. And I'm fine with that because I want a Switch 2. It'll be my big purchase for the year. I'm fine with that. However, I'm graduating in May. There's no guarantee that I'm going to get a job. Someone, please hire me. I've been applying like hell. Please hire me. There's no guarantee that I'll get a job. And because of that, I am very, very particular about the things that I want to buy. But I know the Switch 2 is something I definitely want to buy. And if that's my big purchase for the year, so be it. However, if it gets higher than $500, I can't make that price. And it's so unfair to the kids who are growing up of today to be asked to do that. If I was a kid when I was little and I asked my mom for something like this, she would look at me like I was fucking crazy. And I did not grow up like poor or struggling or anything like that. We weren't like the richest people in the world, obviously. We were like staunchly middle class. And so I got a Wii, for Christmas and things like that. But like, if I were to ask my mom for something like this, she would look at me like I was crazy and tell me to go like start a lemonade stand or something, like back when that shit actually worked. But but so I can't imagine the kids of today, especially as we enter what is most likely going to be another economic recession, asking their parents for something like this. And they're, again, the main fucking demographic. And it's them who we need to protect the most. And I will say this again. As a person who, like, peruses and is pretty much in a bunch of fandoms who are literally catered mostly towards children, I find it very important to protect the children who are in these fandoms. Because what are they going to do if they can't play, like, the games on their Switch or things like that? They're going to go online. And I'm going to point you to another video, because all of this is connected, about how there are no online spaces for kids anymore. And it sucks. Like, there's Roblox, and that's about it. And even then, Roblox is extremely predatory. So it's like you're hurting kids' youth. As much as I do this to like fulfill a childhood need inside of me, what about the kids who are kids now? They're not going to grow up with this stuff and have nostalgia for this stuff. All they're going to remember is, damn, I remember when that Wii U was $1 bajillion. I have no nostalgia for that now, so I'm not going to want to buy it. So don't panic buy shit you don't need. Appreciate and take care of the things you have, and don't be afraid to reach out to others. There are plenty of like trade things going around. If you have like stuff like this that you're trying to get rid of, or you would just want to recycle for some new stuff, look around on like Facebook and things like that to find people who want to do trade nights. That's a great way to also meet new people who actually care about this stuff, want to see that their stuff gets to a new home, to people who actually want the things that they have and aren't just going to use it for a trend and then throw it in a landfill, but it's actually going to find a nice, decent home. And it's fun to trade with other people. It's like almost the community aspect of this we've been missing this entire time. And if you absolutely have to buy stuff from overseas, well, you don't have to, but if you want to buy stuff from overseas, a good hack for this is to get your friends together and make a bulk order, so that way you guys can split shipping. I do this with my friends all the time, whether we buy, literally we had to buy something from Canada yesterday, from an artist who was in Canada the other day, and like shipping was like $50 something, and we were able to split that between like 5 to 6 of us, and that obviously brought the price like way down for each person. However, if I was making like a single purchase and I had to pay even a fraction of that, I probably wouldn't have bought from that person. So I think all of this is to say, the through line of all of this, oh my god, I've tricked you into a video about finding community. Find community. I'm so serious. Whether that be online, if you go to conventions, please like go to panels. Don't just go to the artist alley. I know the artist alley is fun, and honestly, conventions need to bring back fun panels. Like I would love to do some panels like trivia and like fun game show panels. Those are so much fun, and it's a great way to meet new people and talk to people and like gain friends. Like the actual community aspect of all of this, I think we are missing. Like yes, it's fun to collect things, but it's also fun to collect things and talk to people about the things that you collect. Hence why I like make this. So again, in the comments down below, like leave the stuff that you like to collect. What do you like to collect? How easy it is to collect. Let's all have a group about this, and things will get better. I promise they will. I don't like leaving things on a doomer's ankle. Things will get better. All right. But we have to lean on each other during these times and reach out to each other during these times. So don't make yourself an island. It's very sad. Trust me, as a person who like tends to self-isolate when they get upset and things like that. It's so sad. It's depressing. So try to reach out to your friends, make new ones, all that lovely stuff. Okay. So, thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you did, you are a real one. Again, comment down below what you like to collect. The next video is probably going to be the welcome home update because I'm pretty sure it comes out on the 11th. I will be streaming that here on YouTube. So, put on that bell notification because I'm almost died just now. Anyway, because every time I stream, especially welcome home streams, like no one really ever like knows that I'm streaming, and then I get comments under the stream later being like, I didn't know you streamed this. I'll try to like let you guys know beforehand because now we have a solid date of when this is coming out, so I'll let you guys know beforehand when I'm actually going to stream. But put on that bell notification so you're actually like notified when I do stream. Anyway, don't give up. We can still have fun out here. You don't need to buy things to have fun. I feel like that's something I kind of skipped over. You don't need to buy things to be a part of this community or any community really and have fun. You can just appreciate things for what they are. I said that in my cookie run video. Like if you genuinely don't want to spend any money or you just don't want to download a gacha game, you can go online and look at all of the forums and videos and things there are about cookie run. You don't have to like actually download or pay any money towards the game. So don't feel like you have to do those things because you don't. There's a Batman inflatable on this person's balcony. I'm sorry. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next episode. Love and peace.